Hi everyone. Today we're going to look at we're going to review how to graph lines and how to write equations of lines. So when you open up your document here, your Google Slides document, it's probably going to be really small like this. So first, let's make it bigger. So we're going to come up to this little magnifying glass and we're going to zoom in to 100%. And that should make it big enough for us. Alright, so let's start. So when we are doing these, text boxes are already in there for you. So you just click and then you can type. Alright, so graphing equations. So first we're going to go through our steps for graphing. Your step one is to identify your y-intercept. Your second step is to use your slope to graph at least 2 more points. Alright, so now let's take a look at this. You're going to notice I've already given you some points here to use, so that'll help us out. So one of the things we have to remember is the form of a slope-intercept equation. And that form is y equals mx plus b. So we can utilize this to help us identify our slope and our y-intercept. So our slope in this case is the m value. It's the number in front of x. That number is 5. All right, our y-intercept is our b value. In this case, it's a positive 2. All right, so now we can go ahead and graph those points. So I'm going to start with my y-intercept. The y-intercept should be our first point. So I'm going to take one of my dots that I have here, and I'm going to put it over here on my graph at 2. So that's pretty darn close. We might not be able to get it like perfect, but it's close enough for the purpose of what we're doing. Now, our slope. We actually need to make that a fraction. So I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to make that 5 over 1. Okay. It's positive, so that means that my slope has to go up and to the right. So I have to go up 5, right 1. So I'm going to take my next point, and I'm going to come over here and I have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. Drop my point. Now I can graph another one. Problem is I don't have enough room to go up 5. I only have enough room to go up 3. So I have to do the opposite. Instead of going up and right, I have to go down and left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and left 1. And this one might be a little trickier to get right where we want it. It's not playing nicely. It's close enough. I don't know if you can kind of move it a little bit. Nope, it's not going to play nice at all. Just trying to get it to be where I want it. We're doing the best we can on here. It's not perfect, but we're doing the best that we can. And then we're going to see if we can graph one more point. So from there I can go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then over 1 again. And there's my point. And again, it's not perfect. It should be right at the exact intersection of those grid lines. We're doing the best that we can here. I could probably maybe expand my circle a little bit to make it better. That kind of makes it fit a little bit better. I could do the same thing this way, maybe. I don't know. We'll just do what we can here to kind of make it at least appear like it's where we want it. Alright, so I just played with my dots a little bit. So now I can draw my line. So to get a line, I can come up here to the line. And I want one with an arrow. Because we always have to have arrows on the end. So I'm going to draw my line all the way through. Okay, so should look something like that. I can play with it. I want to make sure that this is actually going where I want it. And then I can change the color to black. I can make it thicker, and I can put an arrow on the other end. So there we go. We just graphed our line. Alright, let's go down and check out the second example. Alright, this time we have y equals 3x. So let's not forget our y equals mx plus b. So we can use this again to help us identify our slope and our y-intercept. This time it's asking for b first. All right, well, if we look up here, there's nothing that lines up with b. There's absolutely nothing. So we would just say that our y-intercept is 0. Our slope, right, our slope is a 3. And remember, we'd like to have that as a fraction, so I'm going to say 3 over 1. Again, it's positive, so our line has to go up and to the right. So I'm going to go up 3, right 1. All right, so I'm going to start with my y-intercept, which is at 0. I'm going to try and put this as best as I can on there. And now I can go up 3 over 1. And I can do that again. 1, 2, 3 over 1. And I can keep doing that until I run out of room. 1, 2, 3 over 1. Right about there. Okay. Something doesn't look quite right there. 1, 2, 3. I gotta bring that down 1. There we go. Always check to make sure that they look about evenly spaced. All right, now I've run out of room going up and right, so I can do the opposite, down and left. So 1, 2, 3, and left 1. I wish I could be more exact, but we're just going to put it about where we can fit it. This one does not want to play nice at all. All right, and then I can do it again. I can go 1, 2, 3, and over 1. And 1, 2, 3 over 1. Alright, that one I can move a little bit more over, it looks like. Or just do that to it. Alright, so now we've got some points on there. I'm going to draw my line once again to go through all my points. And again, on this graph we weren't able to get them perfect, so we're just going to do the best that we can. And again, extend that all the way through. I'm going to change it to black. I'm going to change the thickness, and I'm going to add an arrow onto the other end. All right, there's my line. So that's just our review on graphing. So now let's take a look at writing those equations. All right, so when we are writing equations, all right, so first step, all right, is we need to identify the y-intercept. That should be the first thing we do. Our second step is to find another point in order to find the slope. And then our last step is to write in slope-intercept form. And remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Alright, so here we go. Let's give this a try. So we're going to identify our slope and our y-intercept. So my y-intercept is 4. My slope is negative. Look at that line. It's going down and to the right, so it's negative. So what is that slope? So I have to go down 2, and then 1, 2, 3, right 3. So down 2, right 3. So my equation is going to be y equals, it's negative slope, remember we had to go down 2, right 3, and then we started at a positive 4. Whoops, I forgot my x. Don't forget your x. There's my x. All right. So negative 2/3 x plus 4. All right, let's try this one over here. This one we start at 0. That's my y-intercept right there. Now it's a positive line, so I'm going to go up and to the right. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, right 1. So my equation is y equals, I have to go up 3, right 1. Since I'm going right 1, I don't have to put it over 1. We can just leave it as 3. Don't forget our x, and then we started at 0. So I don't even have to put plus or minus anything. I leave it as it is. All right, that is your review on writing and graphing equations. Please come see me during office hours if you need help. Review the Google Slides that we did, and make sure that you get that classwork and e-cart completed. I will see you next week.